practice problem, forces and equilibrium. Here's the problem. A box has a mass of 20 kilograms, and it's supported by these two ropes right there. Find the tension in both ropes. So that's a 51 degree right there. Okay. So it's important that you try to work the problem yourself. Watching me work the problem isn't as good as you working the problem, getting stuck, and then seeing the solution later. Doing something wrong is more useful than seeing something right. That's how you learn. Okay, let's get to the problem. We have these two strings attached to the box. Our first thing is to draw a force diagram. So what forces are acting on the block? Well, we have two types of forces. We have contact forces and long-range forces. So what long-range force we have here? I mean, it's gravity, right? The gravitational force pulls straight down like that. And then both these strings can only pull in the direction of the string. So let's just draw a little separate diagram over here. I'm just going to delete everything. And I'll just draw my force diagram. So here's my dot, mg going down. I have a tension right there. I'll call that T1. I'll have a tension over here, T2. Now, they are different strings, so they can have different tension. If it's the same string passing through an I loop or something like that, then it'd be the same magnitude of tension. But we'll do that problem later. So once I have that free body diagram, the next thing I need to do is to pick a coordinate system to use. Now, there's no wrong answer, but there's an easy answer, right? So let's pick this. I'm going to pick this as my x-axis, and this is my y-axis. And this is the angle 51 degrees. The block is in equilibrium, so the net force has to be 0. So I can write this as F net equals the 0 vector. That's not super useful. It's much more useful to break this into an x and y components. So let's write down the x component of this equation. So F net in the x direction is going to be the net for the x component of all these forces. So what's the x component of this force? Let's just draw this picture since we're starting off here. That's my x component, and that's my y component. I can break that force into two components, one in the x direction and one in the y direction. This is the adjacent side of that triangle. So if this has a magnitude of T1, then this side would be the adjacent. Cosine of 51 is adjacent over hypotenuse, so the adjacent is going to be equal to T1 cosine 51, and I am using degrees. Now that's also, we need to look, it's in the positive x direction. Remember that just because it's in the x direction doesn't mean it's cosine. You actually have to look at the picture to figure out what's going on. So make sure you do that. Okay, then I have this force is in the x direction, but it's in the negative x direction. So I can put minus T2 equals 0. Now, could I solve this equation? No, because I have two variables that I don't know. I don't know T1, I don't know T2. Okay, so let's write another equation, the y direction. F net in the y direction. So what forces are in the y direction? Well, T2 is only in the x direction, has no component in the y direction. T1, now in this case, we have the opposite side of the triangle. So we're going to use sine here. So that's going to be T1 sine of 51. And it's positive because it's in the positive y direction. And then I have this, the gravitational force is in the negative y direction. It's all the way in there. So minus mg equals 0. Two equations, two unknowns, I can solve. And in this case, it's actually pretty easy because this second equation only has one thing that we don't know. I don't know T1. I know 51. I just wrote it down. I know the mass is 20 grams. And I know G, the gravitational field, is 9.8 newtons per kilogram. So let's just solve this for T1. If I add that to both sides, I'll do it explicitly. T1 sine of 51 is mg. Now I'm going to divide by this. T1 equals mg over sine of 51. Now I can actually plug in my numbers if I want to. I don't really want to, but I know you do, so I'm going to do that. So it's going to be 20. I'm going to leave off the units. 9.8 units are important. That's in newtons per kilogram times kilograms, so I get newtons. And then 51 is degrees, so sine of 51 has no units, but I'll just write it right here. And let's go ahead and plug that in your favorite calculator. Pick your calculator that you like, right? Get used to your calculator so that you don't have to mess around with it later. And I can't see, but 20, enter, 9.8 times. This is Hewlett-Packard. Very old. And then I'm going to make sure your calculator's in degrees mode. 51 sine divided by, and I get 252.2 newtons. If this was a test and you wrote 252 newtons, I'm not going to take off for that. We're not doing, this is not a lab. I'm not worried about scientific notation and significant figures. That's kind of silly. Okay, but now I know T1 up here, I can solve this for T2. So let's take this equation, add T2 to both sides, and I get T2 is T1 cosine 51. Well, I know T1, so it's going to be 252.2, leave off the units, times cosine of 51. And that's going to be, so let's see, I do have to take off my glasses now. 252, 51 cosine times, and I get 158.7 newtons. So let's ask for the magnitude of the tension. So don't put negative on this one. That's the x component there, not the actual magnitude. This is asked for the tension, implies the magnitude. So those are your two answers. Applying forces, finding components, all that stuff. The end.